about to pick one up going to Zephyrhills, Florida. And, you know, doing this, I know that a lot of times, a lot of different people, it looks like just a gravy deal. Just go hook up to the camper and take it where it's going. Ain't always gravy. Tonight, it's slacked off right now, but it is coming a freaking flood. I have found my unit, 95 torque. Right there. So now, before it starts raining real hard again, I'm gonna jump out and get some pictures of it. Make sure, check it out, make sure everything's all right. Gonna get my headlamp turned on, and from in the truck it looks good. With the rain all over it looks good, but you got to be extra careful and pay a lot of extra attention when it's raining like this, because them water droplets cover up any scratches or marks that you need to look at. So we're gonna look this one over real good, but probably ain't gonna record a whole lot because it is coming a flood, or has been, and probably will again here in a minute. So I'm gonna get this hooked up and get on our way. So far everything looks good. I did find the paperwork. I have not found the keys. Still kind of digging for them. And make sure bring your boots. Make sure bring your raincoat and your flashlight. Golly. I did find the keys that were in the heater box, or whatever that's called. And I'm looking, when you're down, you see how tight that is? You know, I'm looking for any kind of scratches or rub marks where the two campers could have got together when they're backing them in. Not that we don't have some really good yard drivers or pulling drivers, but you never know when somebody else may have grabbed it to move it. But I really don't see anything. But it's hard to tell when you're right here in this crack right here. So just look it over absolutely as good as you possibly can. If you're not straight when you get hooked up, it'll put you in a bind when they're that tight together about pulling out. So try to be as straight as you can possibly be when you pull up. Now I'm gonna go back, we'll pull back forward just a hair. Because I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna leave you guys here in the truck, and I'll get back to you so y'all don't get wet. Make sure you get your raincoat. We are hooked up and sitting in the truck, and things are kind of blurry because everything's wet. The rain has stopped for the moment. First thing I'm gonna do is check my brakes, make sure they're working. Then I'm gonna pull against them and see how tight they are, and they're not holding the truck back. So I'm gonna leave them on 10. As they tighten up, if they tighten up, I'll back it down accordingly. I'll keep checking them along the way. As tight as everything is, I'm gonna pull up just a little bit here, show you what I'm doing. I know that I need to start cutting right about now to miss this big fifth wheel in front of us, but I'm not sure that I have enough room on this side over here. So what do? Get out and look. So first thing I see, these wheels right here are not up far enough. If I start turning right now, I'm gonna get into this camper. The wheels and tires on this one need to be pretty close even with the front of this camper before I can start turning, or I'll run a risk of getting into it. They're completely clear on this side, so don't have to worry about my tail swing catching this trailer at all. But I couldn't see that in my mirror, so get out and look. All the time, get out and look. Takes just a couple of minutes to walk around the truck, but it takes split seconds to have an accident. So once we get the tires up a little bit closer this way, our tail swing will swing that way and we'll miss both trailers. And it looks a lot closer in the truck than it does out of the truck, but I think I still have plenty of room right here. I'm going to barely cut the wheel. Watch this side over here in the front as close as I can. Now I'll cut it all the way because I see my tires are where they're at. I'm good on this camper up here. I'm good on the roof back there. Everything looks good. Now that I'm out, I'm going to check the brakes again while we're rolling, and that's a lot of brakes. It slid the tires. So these brakes on this one are pretty doggone good. I'm gonna back them off to 7. We'll try rolling forward again. That was still pretty solid, but it didn't slide the tires, so I'm gonna back them off to 6. I generally want them as tight as they can go without sliding tires. That's my personal opinion, because it works off the brake pedal pressure. That's pushing pretty hard on the brakes, and it's not applying half the way. But then I adjust them more as I go, as I'm going down the road. So I ran on foot pretty quick, got everything done up. Let's see, some things I wanted to just kind of talk about. This right here, all right, if you can pull that all the way and it won't reach the ground, you're good. If it will reach the ground, you got to do something else with it, because you don't want it dragging off. The safety hooks that I got here, I moved them back to this hole, and the tags were dragging the ground, so I moved them back to this hole. I pulled my slack out, I checked them when I turned, everything looked good. Make sure you crisscross your chains, even if it is just this little crisscross right here. There's a reason for that. And I'm wet and cold, and I'm not gonna get into it. Sure you guys know what that is. On the bars, on the weight distribution bars, not really happy with how that looks right there with them facing up. They're not totally level, but it'll be fine for tonight. I mean, it's plenty close enough. I've had them a lot worse, but the only way to adjust that is to pivot that head back and forth. So I may have a little bit too much air in the airbags or something. I normally let the airbags all the way down when I'm hooked up with weight distribution. Maybe just have 10 PSI in them, because you're supposed to run 5 in them all the time anyway. Guys, just something else that I think is just kind of neat that I want to show you guys. The auto sync, if y'all have ever heard me talk about the auto sync, it's just a little box that plugs into your dash right there. It gives the truck all kind of extra cool little features. And so all this stuff starts going away. You hit the rear, after you plug it in, you hit the rear defrost button 4 times. That brings up the auto sync menu. And it also gives a bunch of different options. Work lights, shift on the fly tuning if you have that available. It doesn't come with it, but if you have your truck tuned. But powertrain data, but the strobe lights, he just now got it where they would work with the ignition on and the truck running, and I think it's pretty neat. See what you guys thought. So you never know when you're gonna get stuck on the side of the road, and if you are stuck on the side of the road, that's gonna get some attention. That's the main reason that I even liked it in the first place, is because if I'm on the side of the road changing a flat tire, something like that, it gets your third brake light going, reverse lights alternating with your turn signals or four-way flashers, and they're alternating side to side. And the cool part of it is it also works on the trailer if the trailer has backup lights. If the trailer doesn't have backup lights, it alternates the reverse lights, are supposed to, but normally it flashes the reverse lights, or not the reverse lights, but the brake lights alternating back and forth too, but not seeing it do it on this particular trailer. So I thought that was pretty neat and just wanted to show you guys. That's the auto sync. If you're pretty techie and you like tech stuff about your truck, that has been a very good investment. I also got BCM tuning to make the truck just do stuff like this here. But if you're not I'm gonna call it a techie, then you know, you don't care about strobe lights and the factory gauges and all that stuff, and this may not interest you at all. Well, we are here today in sunny Florida. I'm not real sure what the name of this town is. We're about 2.5 hours from delivery. Figured I'd give y'all a look at this thing in the daytime. Nasty, got bugs all over it now. Thing's still hooked up all right. And this is my buddy. Y'all seen him in my videos before. he got the 2022 Dodge, and he's got him a big Solitude fifth wheel coming down here. I didn't show it because it was raining all day yesterday. This is Tuesday. It was raining when I woke up, raining all day long, but I did torque the lug nuts twice since I left with this one. What is noisy here? But yeah, gorgeous day down here. Wishing it was one of them days where I had the time, energy, and motivation to go ahead and go to the beach afterwards, but that's what it is. For this trailer to be what it is, it's riding really, really, really good. It is heavy. You can see how far back the axles are on it. They actually set way further back to the back, and that makes it ride heavy on the truck, but it's riding really, really good. But anyway, we'll ease on down through here. Like I said, we got about 2.5 hours left. 2.5 hours left to go, and get this thing off, get headed back toward the house. Well, overall, this has been a really smooth ride. Even though it was all rainy and everything yesterday, made it down to Unadelia, Georgia last night. Parked, got up this morning, eased on down. I really like this run in Florida. Over to California is a pretty good money cut, but at the same time, it is a nice change of scenery. I used to run Florida all the time, so it kind of feels like I'm running more common territory, you know, or more familiar territory, however you can put that. But the money is definitely not as good, and but the home time makes up for it. So we're on US 98 at exit 301 off 75, and we're coming down through here to this here is 98. We're gonna run it over to 301, and 301 right into Zephyrhills. I used to come down here a lot, hauling oversized steel. There's a place down here, and it's kind of got a funny name to it, but I'm pretty sure the name of the place is Will Fix, and that's where I used to go. And when first time I went down there, I was thinking, why am I carrying oversized steel bridge pilings to a place called Will Fix? But it was actually, they took all kind of steel products and repurposed them and sent them back out. So yeah, I carried quite a bit of stuff in there. I grabbed every one of those I could get my hands on. So I'm back here and I'm getting ready to unhook, and they haven't told me exactly where to drop it yet, so I'm not going to unhook. I'm going to let the jack down a little bit because it takes so long to go down. But I want to check this hitch. If you guys remember, I just put it together not long ago. Make sure these washers are still tight, and that's a good thing to check on all of them, and make sure you don't see anything wrong with the bars or the saddles or any of that stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave my battery, but I'm going to go ahead and get my bars off and disconnect the safety chain, stuff like that. Alright, so Optimum RV in Zephyrhills, Florida. First impressions on the place, first time I've been here. Pulled in, gentleman told me right where to pull to. Told me who to check in with, Cat, lady inside. Just so far seems to be really nice folks. as of right now, I don't mind coming back here again. This is probably one of my preferred places, except for the love bugs. If you leave your window cracked, you're gonna have a truck full of them. And see, right here on the window right now, I left the window cracked a few minutes ago, came back, and now I couldn't tell you how many of them was in the truck. That's the only downside so far. But anyway, just waiting on the girl to get back from lunch, and she did, and told me she would be right back. And I was sitting here, so I figured I'd talk to you guys for a minute, but looks like it's gonna be a quick, easy in and out. All checked in, just pulling back around to get my paperwork. Said everything looked good. So, and the office is right there by the place when you come in. You just walk right up the front side of the office. Overall, the Zephyrhills Optimum RV was a pretty great place to go. They had me in and out pretty quick. The girl that checks them in was out on lunch, and I had to wait for her to get back to make sure and verify with her that's where she wanted the unit, and go ahead and give her time to check it out, and walk back into the front, got my paperwork, and got on my way. You notice there's another unit behind me. This is a couple days later. I've already picked up another one, and I forgot to close this video after I left. That load paid $1.73 a mile, with the fuel going up and the rates coming down a little bit, which I know that's ridiculous. And it stings, because normally I can clear, from the Floridas I ran before, I could normally clear anywhere from $1,100 to $1,300 running down to Florida, especially that far into Florida. On this one, paid $1958.36. I put dead on $1,000 in fuel. That left me $958.36 pretty much. Yeah, so as far as the rates go, I think everybody's frustrated about it. I've heard some different things, different reasoning why they may have done it. I don't really see why there was a reason to cut the rates right now, but I'm not in the office, not looking at how everything's working from their point of view, and I do like Indiana Transport as a company. I would like to think they got reasoning for cutting the rates when fuel is at an all-time high. You know, doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it is what it is. Anyway, I ran quite a few of the Floridas back to back, just one a week. Just trying to get some more home time, get some things done, and it's really cut my money from running the Californias, and the rates were up, and then I start running these and the rates are down. And I've had a lot of people ask me after they cut the rates, you know, well, what are you gonna do? Well, I don't understand what you mean. They say, well, are you quitting? I'm like, why would I quit? I have seen so many people go broke jumping from one job to another. Yeah, the rates at another company may be higher right now, but you got to look at it as a whole. And in any form of trucking I've ever been in, things change, things come and go, you know. And in my experience, let's just say that I saw another company have better rates, I bounce over there. Okay, everything goes good for the first few loads, their rates follow and come down too, and then the next thing you know, the rates are back up where you were at. And to me, it doesn't make sense to jump, you know, especially at the first news of something happening. And like I say, 2 years in transporting, 20 years in trucking. My trucking experience tells me everything will come back, things will level off, and the money will come back to where it, right around where it was, regardless of where fuel and rates go. If the rates will come up to compensate or the fuel will go down to compensate, something will level out. That's my personal opinion. That I base on the experience I had running my own 18-wheeler for all those years. And I hope I'm right about that. If not, it's going to get really tight really quick. But, you know, I just, like I say, business as usual, and I'm still paying the bills, even though it does sting a little bit, so I'm not going to get too excited about it. I meant to make a video, you know, just giving my opinions right after they did the rate decrease, but I didn't have time. And I did make an attempt at it, and I had too much stuff going on. I couldn't focus on the video, you know. So there is my opinion on it if you stuck around this long. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an excellent day, and I hope that everyone's staying safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.